this reading vlog. Welcome to this video. My name is Jessie if you do not know me yet. As you can tell by the title, we're doing reading through my 2024 TBR, and we're doing our TBR takedown episode number 5, which is going to be the last episode. If this is the first video you're seeing by me and you don't know what my TBR takedown is, basically the whole entire summer I put myself on a book buying ban, and it is now fall, so the book buying ban is over, but this is just going to be the very last reading vlog for my TBR takedown. I'll have my TBR takedown series linked below with all those videos so you can get more information on that, but I was just trying to see how many books I can get through on my physical TBR during my book buying ban, and it has been the most satisfying thing in the entire world. All the books that I'll be reading in today's vlog are books that I've physically owned already that were on my 2024 list. I actually did start one last night. I am on page 39, I believe. Yes, page 39. This is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is a trilogy that I've been wanting to read for so long, and I'm glad I finally picked it up. I'm loving it so far. I know I'm very early on, but I'm just feeling it. It's fitting what I need right now. I've just been in such a fantasy mood and a magical mood, and this is perfect for that. If you don't know what this book is about or this trilogy, there are these different Londons. There's red, white, gray, and black. It's kind of like parallel worlds, and then there's magicians or people with magic. They can travel through these parallel Londons, but our main character is one of the last people who can do this. This whole trilogy, I think, is basically him teaming up with this other girl that he meets, and they're trying to fix all these Londons and bring them back to life. I feel like it's gonna be a super fun adventure, super magical. It's gonna be good. I have a feeling about it, and I'm very excited. It's a very cozy, gloomy, rainy day, so we're gonna probably get through a ton of this, and I will just update you as I go and share my thoughts with you. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys stick around. I will meet you guys back here with my first update when I have more to say, and we'll see where that is. I only made it to page 60, but I did want to do a little bit of a update or my thought process right now. We have our main character, Kel, and he really doesn't know who he is or where he came from, which is super interesting, and I really like that about a main character, especially when it has to do with magic, because then you're questioning the magic and the magic system and how they came to be with that. But then when you also have the questions of who they even are or where they came from and how they came to be, that is really interesting to me. So I'm really liking our main character so far. He's also just a dude who's very not alone, because he knows people in all these different Londons, but he's very independent and he does a lot of things on his own. So loving that. He seems a little mysterious. It's always gonna be good. This is just giving me everything that I want right now, and it's just gonna be, oof, I have a good feeling about this. I really do. I know I'm so early in the book, but this is just exactly what I need. This is really random. I'm doing my laundry. I had to take a little break from reading, but I'm gonna update you while I fold my clothes just so I can get my thoughts out there, because I do have some more. I made it to page 113, and the chapters are very short, which I'm enjoying. I always love that. It's going very fast, and we're getting a lot of different scenes. One of the sections, we got a few chapters on Delilah, who was our other main character, and she's the one that Kel is eventually going to meet up with, and they're going to try to save these Londons and bring them back to life. I'm already loving her character, just a few scenes that we had. I think she's going to be very powerful and headstrong. Excited to see where she goes and see what her story is and more of her background. And I have a feeling her and Kel are going to work really well together. I don't know if this is like a romance book. I don't know if they're gonna end up having a romance or whatnot, but if they do, I'm not gonna complain. And then other than that, Kel just met some girl. He ran into somebody and we didn't figure out who it was. I was thinking it might have been Delilah, but they weren't in the right London for that to happen. I don't know who that was. I don't know. I'm really loving the characters so far, and that's what I enjoy most about books. Like, if I don't like the characters, it puts me off from a book a lot, and since I'm loving these, I'm very happy about that, because it means that I just immediately enjoy what I'm reading. I can't wait to see her and Kel meet up. I kind of feel like they're gonna be a bit of a bickering alliance at first, but then they're gonna work really well together. I think I'm gonna get through it pretty fast. I just want to spend a lot of time reading today because I don't have much to do until the weekend, so that is that. Those are my updates. I'll see you when something else happens, I guess. think I know how they're about to run into each other, and it's so cliche, but I hope it happens. Guess who's right? Oh. Okay, that was quick. I made it a little over halfway through. I'm on page 213. My thoughts are still the same. The adventure is starting to kick off now though, so I think it's going to get really exciting. There's been quite a bit of action and things to get us to this point, but now I feel like it's just going to get even better than it was before. Where I left off, there was a bit of a sad moment with somebody that we just met. That was not fun. Lila has had some annoying moments, I will say, just because she's very frustrating and just not being cooperative. And that's what's frustrating about it. They have a very difficult mission ahead of them. It's gonna be very dangerous. We definitely have a lot in store, so I can see why this is a trilogy and the other books are probably gonna be crazy. Hi, update time. It's the next morning and I made it to page 315. The only thing that I have to say, other than what I've already said, is that I'm really enjoying the pacing of this. I think when you go into a trilogy or whatnot, like the first book always seems pretty intense, but this one, I think some people could say that it was slow, but I honestly am loving the pacing and I think it's perfect for a first book in the setup, because with what has happened and what is going on right now, I think that it's going to end in a perfect spot to lead up to the second book, and the second book is then going to have a lot of action and adventure, and it's not just going to be a second book that's kind of more dull or a more calm plot. You know how that usually happens in a second book? I think the second one's going to be pretty interesting and action-packed, and this one's just going to lead right up to it. So I am appreciating that there's not a ton of stuff happening. Mind you, it's not boring at all. I think it's still fun, and this one is giving the perfect amount of mystery and bringing up questions in your head that you don't have answers to yet. You don't know when you're going to get the answers. I'm assuming maybe by the end of the book, but some questions we may get in the next two books. But we still don't know a lot about our backstory with our main characters. We got a little bit, but I feel like there could be a little more, and I'm just waiting to find that out. We have our mission that we're going for. We have the villains, we have the good people, and there's already been some scenes that have happened that are pretty sad. There's one right now that I'm a little nervous for. I don't know if somebody's going to make it through. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there might be a lot of secrets in this series. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna finish this. I have about 83 pages left, I believe. I'll just get through this and then come back with my final update. Lila is not afraid to mess a man up. I will say that. She's just doing it over and over again. You know when you're reading a book, mostly a fantasy book, but the character does something and they're like limited on time and you're just, please go. Just please go. Oh, it's so frustrating. It makes me nervous. Just get that feeling, like that nervous feeling, and it's just a book. It's just words. I'm like, you gotta go. No. Oh no. This is bad. Dude. Some of these lines are pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. This is so complicated. What just happened? I'm on the last section. I don't know what's going on. Okay, that is it. A Darker Shade of Magic has been read by me. Finally, holy moly, I've had this book on my TBR since, I think, almost for a decade now, so that's insane. I will say, I was expecting a lot more from the ending. I thought that we were gonna end on a cliffhanger or something like super ridiculous, crazy plot twist, but it wasn't like that at all. It kind of ended a little bit wrapped up. I mean, we still have the main thing that wasn't completed in this book that obviously is probably gonna happen in the second book. It ended on a lighter note than I thought it would, and I'm surprised. I feel like there's not really much I can say about this other than the fact that I enjoyed it. I like the pacing, I like the characters. I think it's a very unique concept and I like the magic in this. I'm kind of sad that I can't immediately pick up the second book because we have 2 other books to get through in this video. But that is A Darker Shade of Magic. Would highly recommend. Now we are going to start our second book, and can you guess what that book is going to be? That book is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I don't know how long the series is. I think there's 6 books out now. Don't take my word on that. I have no idea. You probably know better than I do. This is basically just a young adult romance about 2 kids in high school. I know there's rugby in here. It's a sports romance. I've heard that this deals with a lot of deeper elements, and you should check the trigger warnings before you start reading this. I like deep emotional romances. I feel like I'm gonna like this. We'll see though. It's a very long book. It's 603 pages. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get through. I'm hoping not too long because I know that with books that are like this that have small fonts and a lot of pages, it seems like it takes forever to get through and it defeats you a little bit. As long as I'm loving this, I'm just hoping I can binge it. I'm going to take a break right now. I have some things to do. I gotta get some stuff done with work and everything, and then I will probably start reading this later tonight depending on when I get all my stuff done, and then I will update you probably tomorrow. I'll see how much I get through tonight and then I will be back with an update in the morning. Okay, I have to read the back of A Gathering of Shadows because I just need to know what's gonna happen. Okay. That's literally this. This is not gonna tell me anything. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is probably gonna get crazy. Wow, I'm in a different room. Can you guys believe that? Okay, so I'm getting choked. Hold on. I did start Binding 13 last night and I got to page 80. As you saw, I was starting to annotate it. I only have 2 tabs in here right now, but I feel like there's going to be quite more that I want to mark. I honestly thought that I would read 20 pages and it would feel like I was reading for 2 hours. It didn't feel that way at all. Just because of how small the font was, I was a little nervous to see the pacing of my reading with this book. It really felt normal and I got through 80 pages probably in an hour or so. I don't really know how long I was reading for. It's definitely not as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. Right away you get an introduction to Shannon, our main character, and she has dealt with a lot with school and bullying. She's 15. She just transferred to Tommen college or academy, whatever. She's dealt with a lot with her previous schools and she finally just got taken out of those schools. Her parents moved her out to this new school and she's just getting treated a lot better there. She's starting a new life, so it's really good for her. Just from that first chapter, getting to know everything that she went through and everything that she is now experiencing in her life, you really grow that connection with the character, and I love that. I love character connection, so I think that this series is going to be something that I do like. Even with Johnny, when we met him, our male main character, we get a lot of background on him, or we just get to know him in a more personal way than you normally do a character in a book. The scenes are 15 to 20 pages long, which may seem like a lot, but honestly, I'm in the mood for that type of book. If you haven't read this book so far, you definitely need to go in with that expectation and knowing that you're gonna get a lot of scenes that are drawn out. There's a lot to them. You just get to hang out with them and see what's going on, and I'm really liking that. I'm hoping I get through a good chunk because it is 600 pages. I don't want to be reading this for too long, but I do want to take my time and just experience it as I'm reading it. But those are my thoughts right now. Those are my updates. I will continue this and then I will be back. This book is so serious yet so unserious at the same time, and I'm just like I'm laughing and it's just, I don't know, it's funny. There's some funny parts in here. I feel like I'm just hanging out with these characters. Like I feel like I'm back at this age and I'm hanging out with a friend group and it's fun, but I also feel like I'm too old for this now. At the same time, I don't care because I'm enjoying my time. I have to share this line. So it's after school and she was in the bathroom and somebody was out there waiting for her when she came out. She's like, I gotta go, I'm gonna miss my bus. She just doesn't want to talk to him. And he goes, there'll be another bus, there won't be another me. And in her head she goes, dear God, I hope not. Like, this book is so funny so far. I didn't expect to be laughing this much, but there's just so many little lines and stuff from different characters that have me laughing. I think Gibbsy is my favorite. He's just, oh my God, he's funny. And the things he says and does. He's very, just put himself out there. some days. I think the last time I updated or talked to a camera was Thursday. It is now Monday. It's the last day of September. And I'm going to try my best to finish these books by the end of the day. I did finish Binding 13 this morning. I had 40 pages left. I was trying to finish it last night, but then I got really tired, so I had to go to bed. And then I started Zodiac Academy. I'm on page 147, I think. And this is flying by, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be able to finish by the end of the day. It's like 2 o'clock right now. I need to talk about Binding 13. I need to give you my final thoughts. My thoughts haven't changed too much since I updated. I know that I was saying that I really like the characters. I was getting attached to them. And there's not too much of a strict plot. You're just kind of getting slices of life. And it's definitely heavy emotionally. I feel like these characters are real. It feels like I'm watching a show that I would have watched when I was in high school and just got attached to it, or it would be a show that would be super popular that everybody was obsessed with because it's very entertaining and the characters just do crazy things, or they're funny. Plot-wise, I don't have too much to say. The only thing that I didn't like about this was the age of the characters. I definitely think that it could have been so possible to have everything that happened in here to happen to college-age students. Like, this could be new adult, because the amount of descriptions there were about not even like sexual things, but the characters' bodies in certain aspects. They're 16 and 17. I don't feel like that is something that needs to be in a young adult book. Plot-wise, everything could have happened to older characters. So I just don't understand why we're dealing with high school and not college. That's the only thing that was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Other than that, I really enjoyed this. I am attached to these characters now, and I'm excited to continue. Gibbsy is my favorite. I was laughing out loud so many times from things that he was saying. Him and Johnny are best friends, and they are such boys. The things they were saying to each other was just hilarious, and I love their friendship. And Shannon obviously has grown so much, and she's with better people now. It just makes me so happy. This is emotional throughout. There's some not good stuff going on with Shannon and her family and her life, and you get a lot of glimpses of that. You don't get too much detail, but in the end, the very last chapter is very detailed. You leave off on the most emotional point in the book. It was a very sad ending. I was crying. I don't know if you guys could tell that I was crying, but I was definitely tearing up. The last chapter and the last line, it's strong, and I'm excited to get to the second book to see what happens, because I just want Shannon and her siblings to get the life that they deserve, and I just want them to be happy and safe. That is Binding 13, Zodiac Academy. This is really good so far. It's super fun. I want to be in a magical school. Like, I want someone to come tell me that I have magical powers. I've always felt that way. Wizards of Waverly Place was my favorite show as a kid. It was my favorite Disney show. I just have always wanted magical powers because life is boring. I want magic and I want something, you know? But unfortunately, I don't think that actually exists in life. So I'm getting it through this, and it's very fun. It's very academic setting. I like the academic setting with magic, and there's a plane. We have 2 twins, Darcy and Tori. Their surname is Vega. It was literally Tori Vega. And I'm like, I mean, they should have just named the other twin Trina. They just turned 18. They have an apartment together. All of a sudden, this professor dude shows up, and he's like, you're 18 now. I sense your powers, and I came to find you. And then he takes them to the Zodiac Academy because apparently their parents were the king and queen. They're heirs to the throne now. They've been the lost twins for 17 years, so now that they're 18, they are back in this world. Everybody is kind of either loving them or hating them, or they're looking up to them because they're heirs to the throne, or they despise them because they are possibly taking the place of whoever is in the throne right now. They're just discovering that they have magic, and they are going through the school and getting initiated. There's 4 different houses. There's earth, air, fire, and water. This series is a series that I am worried that I was worried that I wasn't gonna like it, but I think so far I'm having fun, and I like the setting, and I like our characters so far. I think this is going to be crazy, dramatic, probably cringy at times, but I'm still going to enjoy my time reading it. That's it for my talking and my yapping right now. I just needed to give a big update because I haven't in a while. I think I mentioned that this was a bully romance from what I've heard. They weren't lying about the bullying, because there's so many mean people in this book. Even the teacher, the one teacher, for no reason. These girls have no idea that they were even fae, or that they had this potential to be the most powerful fae in this world. And he's like, oh, you're just ignorant girls. Like, they just got thrown into this. What do you mean? Like, give them a chance at least. I don't think I mentioned that the 4 houses each have a different leader. There's a guy leading each house, and they're all in power right now, and they don't like Darcy and Tori because they are about to overthrow them in a way. They're pretty much jerks. They've already been doing a lot of stuff to hurt them and just embarrass them and whatever. The one of them is the leader of the house that Tori's in. She immediately found him attractive. She had a little crush on him. He's like the dark-haired bad boy out of all of them. There was just a scene where there's something sketchy going on with that dude and one of the teachers. They are hiding something. I love that there's now a mystery element thrown into this because we have no idea what's going to happen. We don't know exactly what they were talking about and who it was directed towards. So I'm even more excited to read this now, and I'm over halfway through and I already want to go pick up the second book. I'm going to try to hold off because I want to buy the books in my fall TBR first. If this ends on a cliffhanger, I may need to go pick up the second book. I'm really enjoying it. It's super fun. It's very entertaining. The writing is a little weird. I don't know if it's because we're in a fae world, but the teachers are definitely not professional. A lot of them are half naked. Hey, welcome back to my car. Gotta film from the car. Gotta do what we gotta do. Anyway, I need to do my outro and talk about my books that I read for this vlog, and then we're gonna do my TBR update and see how many books I have left and see how many books I got through this whole takedown session. But I did finish Zodiac Academy. Well, The Awakening. Book 1. I always say Zodiac Academy and not the title of the first book. I really enjoyed that book. I really did. I was watching Larry Reed's wrap-up video for her like September and August reads, I believe, and she read Zodiac Academy. She binged the whole series because she was so obsessed with it. I've never really heard too many people talk about it or review it before, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just knew that a lot of people have read it before and they liked it or whatever. I didn't know details or the emotions that the series was giving people. Watching her video, she said that it ruins you as the books go on, and yeah, so I'm in for a big ride later. I saw some comments on the video though that said the first book isn't even really good, or a lot of people don't like the first book but they love the rest of the series. It is surprising to me because I really actually enjoyed it a lot, so now I'm even more excited to get into the rest of the series. But I think I had 150 to 200 pages left. I kid you not, I stopped mid-chapter and I went on the Barnes & Noble app and I was seeing if the second book was in stock at the Barnes closest to me. Unfortunately it wasn't, so I'm gonna have to order it on Amazon probably because they're way cheaper on Amazon anyway. I did spend quite a while updating my Amazon wish list on all the books that I want. Anyway, I'm gonna do a wrap up of these books. Going back to Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. I did really enjoy this. I liked the whole magic school setting. It did feel very unserious, so it was definitely more of a fun read than a legit super fantasy world building novel. But of course I always have fun with magic in a school setting. I love school settings. I really like the characters in this, even the people who were absolute jerks. Hopefully they get better as the series goes on. But I really enjoyed the interactions between them and our main characters, whether it was positive or negative. We weren't given too much with the world building or the history of the world or the magic system yet. Our main characters, Darcy and Tori, the sisters, they have to figure out their power. They have to figure out what they are. I'm so excited to go on that journey with them, to see them get stronger and figure out who they are in their past and figure out what is going on in this world that is bad. And I know there's probably going to be a lot of confrontation and conflicts that pop up. I can't wait, and I'm very happy that I finally read this, and I would recommend. I think the fall is a good time to start this series if you've been thinking about it. Going back to the first two books I read, A Darker Shade of Magic, I still love this. I'm actually on A Gathering of Shadows now. I started it last night, so I think I'm going to get through the rest of this trilogy pretty quickly. I liked the unique world in this, in the parallel Londons. I thought it was super cool. This one had a great pacing. You didn't get too much of craziness happening in this book to where you think that the second book might be a filler book. I genuinely think the second book is also going to be crazy. So I really enjoyed how this was laid out and how much we got on the world and what our characters are doing and what they need to do. I think it ended in a perfect place. I think there's a lot of secrets going on in this one too. We'll see what happens in this world. And then we had Binding 13. Once again, I love these characters. It's very slice of life, so you're not getting too much of a backing plot. You're just going through these characters' lives and their interactions. I don't know when I'll get to the second book. I do want to get to it soon just because these books are fresh. I do want to continue these series. I did feel like it was a little long and a little too descriptive for ages of our characters. It's definitely very, very deep, very emotional. Look up trigger warnings if you don't know them yet. It does get very sad and you just feel for these characters a lot. But I definitely grew a connection to them, and I want to know more about them and their relationship and their connections with each other. We'll be continuing this, just don't know when. On my Notion, I actually made a list of my books in my series that I had planned to read in 2024. A lot of those books I don't want to read anymore, and I just have no intention of reading this year at least. I do want to get to some of them eventually, just not, I don't have time this year, I don't think. But I have my 2024 TBR, so we're gonna update that real quick, and then we'll get to my actual physical TBR, which is kind of bittersweet that I'm ending this TBR takedown. I definitely would like to do another one because it's fantastic, but we will get into that after I do this. 2024 TBR, we have The Awakening I read. We're gonna check that off. And then A Darker Shade of Magic and Binding 13. And then going into my physical TBR, we have the Zodiac Academy. Well, see, I put the Zodiac Academy. It's not even The Awakening. Binding 13. And then A Darker Shade of Magic. So after this, we're gonna see how many books I have left on my physical TBR. I already know the number, but you guys don't. So it's gonna be exciting. 21. 21 books on my physical TBR, which is crazy. I started out this series in this TBR takedown with 50 books before I went on my book buying ban. I had pre-orders that I had purchased like before this whole thing started. So I had 3 pre-orders that came during the summertime when I was on my book buying ban. I read them right away. Technically, we can say that I had 53 books on my physical TBR, and to get it down to 21 is insane. I read over 30 books. I'm very proud of myself. I highly recommend doing like a TBR takedown sort of thing and put yourself on a book buying ban if you're overwhelmed with your TBR. I wasn't too overwhelmed. It was just that books were like stacking up on the floor and I didn't really have anywhere to put them, and that's what was bugging me, and that led me to go on a book buying ban. It wasn't necessarily the not spending money thing, it was just getting rid of books and reading books that I've had on my TBR for a while, and it's definitely helped me, and I just feel so refreshed and organized. And if you want to do a TBR takedown, please do it because it's a great feeling. I'm so excited to now just be able to go to the bookstore and maybe pick up 1 or 2 books at a time and not feel like I need to pick up a ton, because that's what I would normally do. I'm reading books through my physical TBR, so now I can go pick up Keeping 13 or the second book in the Zodiac Academy series, and I don't have to feel overwhelmed because now I know that once I buy these books, I'm gonna get to them faster than I had previously, because obviously I would buy books and they would just stack up and I wouldn't get to them. I was still reading the same amount, but I had too many books and it was getting to that point where I just kept pushing books back. So now I'm in a place where I can read books faster and I can get them off my TBR faster once I get them onto my physical TBR. I love this and I had a great time. Thank you guys for watching all these videos if you have. With that being said, I do just want to end this because I feel like I talk so much in this video. I'm so sorry. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please feel free to stick around and subscribe to my channel. I'll definitely do a ton more reading vlogs. I love doing it. I just have a whole bunch of bookish content. I will see you guys at my next video, whatever that may be, and I hope you have a great day and a great night wherever you are, and I will see you later. Bye.